Well, if we played golf like we run a studio here, Tim.
Thanks for getting everything in order there.
Well, I read the instructions. Not.
Hey, Randy.
Yep.
Remember the old Midwestern classic song, Hang On, Sloopy, Hang On.
I do.
Shake it, Sloopy,
Yeah.
Shake it.
Yeah?
That's a state song of Ohio.
Really? Really?
We don't kid around on this show, Randy.
We're bringing it right down to the right above the runway. And this is Distilleries, Breweries, Wineries of the World. And sitting to my left, I have the young Tim Bona, a editor extraordinaire for our Golf World and Links Libations magazine.
We try.
No, you're an outstanding
We try.
writer and traveler and golfer and all that. And on the line, we have Greg Lehman of the Ohio Distillers Guild. Greg, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome, Greg. Hey, many have said, or a few have said, that out in Ohio, you either have to be a high-volume producer or be redesigned to make spirits simply as a hobby. But there's middle room out there, isn't there, with the changing legislature and all that?
Absolutely. It sounds like you guys have been doing your homework. We got a law passed in 2016 that absolutely makes the middle ground, or basically the destination distillery, a very viable option.
One of the things that's really apparent is in Ohio, of course, our Links Libations magazine was put together to address the after-round issues for the golfers of Ohio. And so golfers golf, then they sip, and Ohio being the rich land of Muirfield and Firestone and what's that other little one that they have out there?
In Ohio.
In Ohio, they're just
Or
full.
Scotia.
It's full of golf courses. But
we got some great courses out here. Scotia's right in town too, right in Columbus, which has just hosted the Senior PGA Tour.
Oh, you got the Golf Club New Albany. You got Double League Club, Galena, and the Inverness Club.
Oh yeah,
home of Jack, man. Home of
Jack.
Jack.
We're threatening to come out there.
We're spoiled. We're spoiled here.
You are.
For sure.
Yeah. One of the things about Ohio that you don't know, and this is why it's a hotbed for exactly what you folks are doing, is that Ohio, for the marketing in golf for many, many years, has been the center. That if you drew a radius of about 900 miles around there, about 75 to 80% of all the golf hard goods and dollars are spent in the world of golf. So that room to grow your industry is you're right at the middle of it.
That's very cool.
Yeah, you're geographically located wonderfully well.
I should have picked golf instead of booze here as my living.
Well, we affirm you because people were mumbling for a long time in Ohio. It's easier to by making it easier to sell to local pubs. The special, like the whiskey available at the bar side along the beer, helped to inspire it. I mean, a lot of people were going to give up on this effort, and you guys came through.
Yeah, you know what? It definitely wasn't easy at first, and it's gotten a lot better. I tell you what, when we first started, what was crazy, we couldn't even sell bottles out of our shop, and it's come a long way. So literally, my business partner and I would give a tour, and we would show people our place, let them taste our spirit, and then the tour would kind of be over, and everyone would be awkwardly looking at each other like, okay, all right, well, and they would say, all right, well, we'll take a bottle. And we had this little brochure or map put together. It was like, all right, well, here's where the liquor store is. You got to go out of the parking lot, turn right. And, we'd give them directions, and they'd have this look on their face like, are you kidding me? And we know half of them got in their car and didn't go to the liquor store. But,
right.
So it was huge. In 2012, a law passed that I cannot say I had anything to do with, and this was before the Distillers Guild was put together right after this law passed, but a law passed to let us all sell bottles from our shop, and that was kind of the start of it. And when we saw that law get passed, we thought, all right, there's a lot more we need to do. Let's organize and let's figure this thing out. And so it took a long time to do it, but just in 2016, we passed this next law that lets us put in a restaurant and a full bar, which that opens up all kinds of doors. That's what you were alluding to earlier.
Yeah, that'll going to be on the hobbyist level, won't it?
Absolutely. So instead, up to that point, you could have it as a hobby, but really to make money, you had to sell it across the state. And now that you can put in your bar, you can be a destination just like a brewery would be.
Yeah, Greg Lehman with the Ohio Distilleries Guild joins this morning. Then they can move forward, carving out all those market niches, and hoping the fans out there will connect with their unique stories. Right?
Right. Well, yeah, you're right. Then there's not that pressure to get in every store right away. You can do your thing at your distillery, work on your recipe. People come in and eat and drink. They give you feedback. Then you can go from there.
One of the things about folks that visit distilleries in the spirit world is that they're generally pretty loyal and passionate about what they're doing. Once they're in and they get to meet the owners and taste a little sip or two, they generally come back. And how's that? How many years have you been? Your watershed distillery has been in place. How has that worked for you?
Yeah, we started Watershed in 2010, and we're firm believers in that. People that come into distillery, it's a huge opportunity to share our story, our brand, our products, and get them excited about it. Because as consumers, that's the way we are. If I go to a brewery, if I go to a winery, and I meet some of the team or the guys making it and hear the story, it's amazing how passionate I become about it. And so we try to share that same thing and get people excited about what we're doing.
Yeah, speaking of passion, Greg, I know you're really thankful to your allied members. The farmers, the packaging companies, the printing companies, etc. They make up your team. They really make it a success, don't they, for you?
Absolutely. Over half our members in the Ohio Distillers Guild are allied members, and we're fortunate to have them supporting our cause. And not only do they write checks, but when we're getting this legislation passed, there's allied members that are in there testifying on our behalf, talking about the industry. And so it's pretty cool to see that level of buy-in from our perspective, especially in an industry that really wasn't around 20 years ago.
One of the things we try to do is provide a microphone. If you do get in the future, a situation where, something happens out there, Greg, always be sure to give us a call, because our Links Libations magazine and our microphone is open for at least to get the story out, if you have something coming up. Has Ohio been easy for you to work with, or do they have things that they're always trying to carve into your niche, or do you have anything on the table right now that you're looking to overcome?
Yeah, so we've formed a great relationship with the Division of Liquor Control here in Ohio, and the people there have been phenomenal to work with. So they really are cheering for us, and they want to see us do well. Generally what we'll do, we'll sit down with them and say, hey, here's our 4 or 5 pain points that we're really seeing, and get their feedback. And there might be 3 of them that they say, these issues, there's some bigger, broader reasons as to why those can't move and that they are what they are. But these 2 issues we see, maybe one of them's an easy change that we don't have to get a law passed. But maybe a second one is, all right, you guys introduce a law and we can't get behind it and say we support it, but we're certainly not going to slow it down. And so it's cool to see that kind of dialogue with them, because then we really know where they stand, and it's made it easier. So when we did introduce this last law, instead of bringing 10 things that we wanted to change, we identified 2 that were pretty easy, that they fully supported, and it passed it with flying colors. I want to say all but one of the senators in Ohio voted for it, and all but 2 or 3 of the House of Representatives in Ohio voted for it. So it was pretty amazing to see that level of support.
Well, great work, Greg, and I know you're looking for an executive director to help you get to the next tier or level. Yeah.
So we have a current law introduced right now, and we are talking with a few. One main option for the executive director, it's the guy that's been our lobbyist. His firm does a little bit of this stuff as well, and I think it'd be great for us, because right now we're trying to pass a law that would eliminate the limit. There's a limit out of our bottle shop. Each person can only buy 2 bottles a day, and so we want to get rid of that limit. It doesn't make a lot of sense. If you go to the regular liquor store, you can buy more. You can buy as many bottles as you want, and so we're just asking for parity. Right. And then we're also trying to. This bill would let us open 2 additional bar restaurant locations in Ohio. It kind of be a way to get the story of the brand out there. If I wanted to go to Cincinnati or Cleveland and open one, that would help tell my story in those markets. My distillery is based in Columbus, and so that's the idea there. And I think with an executive director, it would get us a little more organized, help us grow our membership, and be a little more proactive on this legislative front.
And get those bottles into the hands of more bartenders, Uncle Randy.
Yeah, well,
That's right.
They actually have a nice niche out there. I think being from Ohio and in this world, I'm sure that all your associate members support each other and help them grow and learn. And it sounds like you've done a great job out there, Greg. And hopefully with our Links Libations magazine and our social media platform we're creating, that we can work with you and help the social media end, because that's one of the things we're trying to do is get out great stories. One of the things on our golf end, hour and a half from now, we're going to be we've got boots in the ground down at the Masters, and
nice.
Mr. Nicholas is there, and those are things we hope to send to you to work with. But we really appreciated you being with us today, Greg, and I'm sure we'll have you on soon. Always give us a call or write to me, and because your stories, updates, or what you have going on, we want to hear.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers,
today.
Greg. Yeah,
Cheers, guys.
They got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, remember, in Cleveland.
They
Ohio,
have
in Ohio. And, my goodness.
They have the golf courses out there, and the members that we've talked to. That is definitely going to be a road trip for us.
Well, you got to love a geographic region that invented the hot dog, Randy.
What?
1900 hot dog. First hot dog came out of our friends from Ohio.
I wanted to go to Ohio State, but I could not throw the discus far enough. They looked at me and they said, "No, you're just not that good." Anyway, we want to thank Greg and Ohio, and we'll be back on Distilleries, Breweries, Wineries of the World. Have a good day.